Yeah, I think we talk about that. You talk about making big plays. Obviously, we want to make the routine plays, but anytime you get an opportunity on a 50-50 ball, we need to make those plays because it puts the energy on our side, gives us a good momentum.
And even the back shoulder one too. Mac doesn't have to be perfect every play then for you guys. That
No,
helps him out.
yeah, we just got to make plays, and those are things you practice too, though. Those are things that are practiced every day because in practice, not everything's perfect.
On that play, is it a matter of just wanting it more? I mean, you had to take it from the guy.
I'll just say that I've been on both sides of those. I've played 8 years. I've been on both sides of those where I've gone up for it and I haven't finished it. I think it's about focus and just being present at the moment when the ball's in the air. Obviously we're both aggressive, but if you're focusing, because it's a contested catch, and even for the defender, it's contested. His job isn't to catch it. His job is to defend it, and my job is to catch it. So I have to have a little bit more focus than him. So that's where it comes down.
Nelson, they played a pretty good amount of man coverage against you guys, and you had to touch on obviously some crossers too. Just beating man coverage, how important is that to your wide receiver room and going out there and playing through that?
It's huge. It allows us to run the ball well when we beat man-to-man because that's a defense's counter. If we're running the ball well, they play man coverage so they can have an extra guy down there in the box. So if we can pass the ball when they go man, now they have to play zone, and we're able to gash them a little bit more downhill. So I think beating man-to-man complements what we do as a running team.
You felt like it was good today. It seemed like it was good today.
Thought we did well, but we got more plays to be made. There's something that if we watch that we could have made, and we're only going to get better. So I hope that this game is a stepping stone towards where we're headed. I don't want this to be like, hey, this is our identity. I want it to be, okay, we see some good stuff. Now let's get better from here.
Speaking of that, Nelson, the way you finished the game, 6 minutes, 33 seconds when you guys get the ball back, and you run out the clock. How much can that be a contributor to an identity for you guys going forward?
I think that's a part of the winning formula. You want to finish with the ball. I think if you look at us last year, we don't want to so much talk about that, but if you talk about that last year, 4-minute drives weren't in our favor. We won the 4-minute drive, ended the game, milking the clock, finishing with the ball and being in victory formation. That's important. I think most championship teams see a lot of those, because they win the right way. They win with they get the last shot, they have possession, and, they kneel it and run the clock out.
Like you and Mac had good chemistry during the offseason. We heard both of you talk about how much work you put in during the offseason. This game, you had over 100 yards. Do you feel like all that hard work paying off?
I think it's a part of it. I hope that this week springboards us into more weeks to come. With Mac, he's getting better every week, and me as a player, I want to get better with him. I want to produce for him. I want to, build the confidence that he feels like he can come to me if I'm, 5 yards behind a guy or only 1 yard, whatever it is. You build that type of confidence by making those tough plays and having those also routine plays. Those crossers that we had are routine, same thing you do if you were doing routes on there every day. So when you do it in the game with coverage out there, it's important. So I want us to take this and build off of it.
Nelson, the middle part of the game, like the middle eight, last possession, first possession of the second half. You guys scored, going into halftime, you drive, you get a chance, obviously, to field goal. Nonetheless, the emphasis, the focal point of doubling up scores, getting the points on the board before the half an hour, to at least accomplish part of that today. How important is that?
I mean, I think you guys know who our head coach is, and he's explained that to you, and it's very important. Because if you look around the league, that's how, the game is swung in favor of another team. That last shot possession before the half and then doubling up the second half. If you can double dip, if you can stop somebody from scoring and then getting it, or if you can score and then get it again and score early in the second half, it's important because now you put a team from playing behind. Now they don't have their whole playbook to their access. Now they're rushing. They might just be out there sling and shoot, like just throwing it around the whole time. They can't run the ball. So it's important that you control the game, and that swing that you just talked about is huge in this league. And most teams that control that most of the times win.
Another big game for Jacoby. Can you just talk about how consistent he is?
You just said the word, consistent. Practices with that type of mentality, trains with that type of mentality in the weight room, conditioning, all that, in the classroom. And then he goes out here and he just plays. He does his job. You know, when the ball's in the air, he has great focus, and he's a tough player. You know, I would say I've played with a lot of tough players, but I have so much respect for how tough he is and how consistent he is as a player. You know, he's a guy that I'm very honored to play next to, even at his young age, because his leadership is a silent leadership. He doesn't have to talk. He just leads by example.
Hey, Nelson, since Gio's on a roll, can you introduce your captain?
Yeah, well, you just said it. Our captain, your captain, my captain.
Shut up.
Hey, he's a twin,
He's a twin.
but he's the better looking one. They say, Mr. McCourty.